Good morning, everyone. It's April 28th, 2019. I'm Eric. I'm here at the Free Thought Project. Trump tells NRA the left is coming for your guns, as he's been quietly taking your guns all along. And this comes from Matt Argist. Indianapolis, Indiana. On Friday, President Donald Trump vowed to fight for the Second Amendment rights of Americans as he spoke to members of the NRA. While Trump claimed to be a champion of gun rights, however, his record says something entirely different. During the speech, Trump claimed that the left is coming for your guns, and he's correct. But so is the right, and so is Trump. As politicians and anti-gun rights activists continuously chant, "We don't want to take your guns," behind the scenes in only a year, politicians have been working overtime to limit your rights to bear arms. What Trump's speech to the NRA on Friday proves is the incredibly short memory of his support base. Have they all forgotten that Trump recently made one of the most damning attacks on the Second Amendment of any president yet? In case you were one of those folks, in February of 2018, after the tragic shooting in Parkland, Florida, President Trump took to the national television to betray his oath to the Constitution and his supporters and famously said, "Take the guns first, go through due process second." And of course, one of the founding ideas of this country is what? The Second Amendment and due process. It is quite incredible how his rhetoric among his fake friends at the NRA is drastically different. In quotes, "It's under assault," Trump said Friday in regard to the Second Amendment, ignoring the fact that he is part of that assault. In quotes again. But not while we're here," he claimed, acting like he'd never tried to remove gun rights from Americans. If you doubt this assertion of Trump's attacking the Second Amendment, simply realize that just as some gun right groups flip-flop on protecting the rights to keep and bear arms from the federal encroachment, so has Trump. Not only has he ramped up federal gun control enforcement, but he has unilaterally implemented new federal gun control in the form of a bump stock ban. But it's not just bump stocks and due process that Trump wants. Last year, the Post went deeper, alluding to the fact that Trump will likely go further than bump stocks. In quotes, "In private, he has indicated that he might do more, telling advisors and friends in recent days that he is determined to push for some sort of gun control legislation," according to people familiar with the conversations. Knowing that Jeff Bezos' Washington Post would love to see all guns pulled from the hands of law-abiding citizens, we can assume that their source is accurate. Trump himself even tweeted out that he wants Republicans and Democrats to come together for gun control just last year. And how many times have I said it? I say it probably multiple times a week, that the left can't get shit done without the assistance of the right, and the right can't get shit done without the assistance of the left. And this isn't the case only for gun control legislation. This is the case on all legislation. even the ones where they exempt themselves from laws that they've written. And here's a tweet from Trump from February 21st, 2018. Whether we are Republican or Democrat, we must now focus on strengthening background checks. Black market does not require background checks, people. If a person wants a gun, they're readily available, just like cocaine, just like whores, just like pot, just like heroin, pills, and everything else that the government pretends like it doesn't put out there on the streets. In reality, this president is just like the president before him in regards to removing your rights to protect yourself and your family. Sadly, however, people still buy into the ridiculous rhetoric used to stoke divide. Indeed, we can see that toward the end of his speech, we hear that what Trump's rhetoric was really about. Getting people out to vote for Republicans using fear. In quotes again, you better get out there and vote. The gun grabber in chief said of the 2020 election. It seems like it's a long way off. It's not. Just as Trump fear-mongered about the left taking your guns in his speech, Americans don't even realize that this is actually what's happening on the right. In just the first 6 months after the shooting in Parkland and the president's statement of take the guns first, the Giffords Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence recording a whopping 55 new bipartisan, meaning both parties, new bipartisan gun control measures in 26 states. Where's the Supreme Court? That number is now far greater as states pass red flag gun laws to literally do what Trump advocated for in February 2018. They are taking the guns first and seeking due process second. And let me tell you, they're not really seeking due process at all. Colorado just became the 15th state to pass such a law, and now Colorado citizens will be subject to laws which allow their guns to be seized without them having any say in it whatsoever. Citizens who are targeted by the law are deemed guilty first. And by the way, anybody who is arrested for a crime, whether they tell you you're innocent before proven guilty or not, that's a blatant fucking lie. Because if you weren't presumed guilty, you wouldn't have pre-punishment like county jail. And I get it. Some people are so dangerous that probably they should be taken off the street as quickly as possible. What about the rest of the people who aren't? Held in county jails under excessive bail. Okay, Citizens who are targeted by the law are deemed guilty first, and only after their guns are taken away will they have a chance to defend themselves in court. This is the de facto removal of due process, just like what the NRA praising Trump advocated for. And vice versa, NRA praises Trump as well. NRA is there to help them. Have you ever really heard too much objection when it comes to stealing the gun rights of marginalized Americans? I don't think so. This move to push for gun control, however, should come as no surprise. As the Free Thought Project reported in December of 2017, an example of how both parties are willing to completely compromise their principles to further the agenda of usurping your rights, the Republican-controlled House voted to federalize gun laws across the country. Keep telling you, Fabian socialist, fascist socialist. Not only was this bill, which makes it easier for the federal government to disarm the citizens, voted for by the alleged pro-Second Amendment Republicans, but it was also supported by the NRA. Justin Amash tweeted on December 5th, 2017, "There are more government growing unconstitutional anti-liberty pieces of legislation moving through the House this month than any month I can remember." Sadly, this is the mission of the current commander-in-chief. 'Tis a sad state of affairs when red and blue lines can cloud the minds of those who wish to protect themselves and their families with adequate weaponry, all the while surrendering that ability to the first person who wears their color and whispers in their two-party conditioned ears. Motherfucker whispers sweet little nothings in your ears and you cream your pants like a bunch of whores. I know, what I say is unpopular. However, it does need to be said. Whether I'm popular or not is irrelevant. Me, myself, I am irrelevant. But what is relevant is the truth. And I've said it multiple times in the past, that you think the abuse by state officials, police, and others is bad now. Wait till they think you don't have any weapons. I mean, they're already breaking the arms of our teenagers. They're already charging people with terrorism for criticizing police. They're already allowing police, massive police, cops, body slam little girls who weren't even resisting. Already allowing 9-year-old boys to be knocked to the ground and handcuffed by cops for leaning on a car. And this during a time where children are being sex trafficked at highly alarming rates. So you're not even going to be able to defend your child from being snatched up from some fucking pervert. I mean, how far are we going to let these people go? Now, I'm not a fan of rap music. There's a couple of songs. Most of it is written at the 4th grade level and not very well thought out. However, in this country, he is supposed to be able to say whatever he wishes, as long as not threatening to an individual. And if you're writing a song, that's a whole nother level of protection. And yet, you get charged with terrorism if you write lyrics they don't like. I mean, fuck, I wonder if they're going to arrest, people like the dudes from System of a Down and Metallica and Megadeth and all the other metal bands who've ever said anything against the government. And the reason why you need a gun, the reason why your right to protect yourself is so important, is because our governments aren't the bad guy or good guys. They're the bad guys, and they kill more civilians than any terrorist did in 2019. The 20th century, governments killed over 265 million of its own people. Can you tell me with a straight face that our weapons are not needed? Even if you end up in prison for defending yourself from a cop, that's better than going down like a bitch. Anyway, I don't think I need to cover the rest of them articles. I think I just did an adequate job of it. You know, if you like my content, please do subscribe. Please do share. Please do thumbs up. My Discord and PayPal links are in the description box below. Till next time, kill the state before the state kills you.